Hi everyone, Mature Simmer here. Welcome to August. For those who've not seen this contraption before, it's been parked over here on the side of the farm, not been used for quite some time. This is our potato harvester. So, I need to get this, obviously, over to the potato field. And actually, because the other plants are growing, this would definitely cause some destruction. So I need to get over from this side because we basically are going to need to go along the edges of the field and get ourselves to the potatoes. So harvest is beginning. The collection of the pig food is on its way. So it doesn't look any different from here, but that's because the tops on potatoes don't really kind of take that tan look of grains and other things that might be ready to go. Obviously our soybeans are still nice and green in their full state. Actually they only might be they might finally be 6 of 6. I don't remember where they're at, but either way, we know they're close. We don't need to check them all every day at this point. Well, I thought it didn't grow in there. Although it looks like we did somehow miss. Nope, I guess it just really took a long time to render. I was going to say it looks like we did miss a segment, but then it showed me that we didn't. So I'm not aware of anyone buying field 13. That is what's to the left of me. So, if someone does that, obviously it's going to make some of the work a little more challenging every season. Obviously here we can drive down and go in between. The good news with Shellbrook is we've got wide enough margins on the fields that we can do things like this. So, a little bit of sorghum there. I'm even getting confused as to what I have where. But there we go. Potatoes are down here. And I think I'm going to go ahead and go this way, because eventually I need to get enough that I can go north-south between the islands, but I need to get enough headlands on the end here that it'll all work appropriately. Whoops, I need to unfold it. It does take quite a bit of time. If I remember, I think I timed this before. It's like 20 seconds of unfolding here, there, because there's just a lot going on with this thing. But it does a lot too, right? So, oops, I don't want to do that. I want to lower it. Then I want to go ahead and start it up. And then it does take a while because it has to get to the center of the machine before it does anything. There we go. And it does take a long time, enough of a time that even I sit there like, is it working? So there you go. Almost 1,000 liters just from that tiny little row. And if you recall, we're not quite full yet, but if you remember, it was basically 1,700 liters fills us up. So our first few seconds of harvest is giving us some pretty good results from the standpoint of making it seem that we're going to have what we need from the harvest amount to keep the pigs pretty happy with root crops for a while. So this is going to be good. We certainly won't overfill our silo. That's the nice thing. The silos are quite large. They can store up to 5 million liters. With this whole field, we had just about 2 million, so we're not going to have too much difficulty here. Now, as you can see, this is pretty long. We need quite a bit of space. You know, it'll become easier later. Now, I could have just waited, and then, you know, I could have harvested the sorghum first and at least gotten this end and the other end cleared out, but just felt like, obviously, I would like to spread this around, because otherwise I have a point where I've got potatoes that I need to hurry with, and I think every crop at this point has 3 days, but I don't remember for certain if that's accurate. But no, this works out pretty well, because the island is giving us a lot of maneuver room. On this side, we're going to have a little bit of a section in the middle where we cross between the islands, where we have that one piece done, but at that point we should be going north-south. So speaking of, let me finally mark my GPS and snap my line so that eventually I can start going ahead and doing that. Alright, so I think I'm okay there. I guess I need to turn off the harvester so it's not really picking it up. On the potatoes, I'm trying to think of the word. It's turning it off. Off is a hard word, especially early in the morning when you're just trying to have a conversation. Now we need to turn it back on. Alright, now this is a pretty big line here. So we'll see how this all plays out, but we should have 7,000 or 8,000 before we're done here, I think. You know, and we've got a pretty good line at this point. So, I'll probably come back one more time, and then I think I'll just start going north-south, because if nothing else, it'll be easier. Let's see. I think that'll do it without taking anything out. I ran over a bit, but usually with the toppers and so forth, I don't think we really kill the potatoes underneath. But that's not to take a chance. But, you know, at least here, well, because I think we're gonna run into things again, so maybe not. No, we did get, oh yeah, we got quite a bit, but we're not really gonna know. But no, we've got a big enough path at the end here that we can turn around, and again, I can reverse a bit and kind of get myself positioned. But I think at this point we're close enough. We're gonna give it a shot. Well, you know what, let me run 2 more just to be certain. Because now, as I'm thinking about it, I mean, I still need to be sticking out past the potatoes to go north-south appropriately. So, I mean, it does have a pretty sharp turn. Alright, but we're at 10,000. So we're not even at 50%. The nice thing with this harvester is it does have a good capacity, and we're using the... trying to remember, I don't know that when I did this, did I have the Wilson? Yeah, I probably did have the Wilson. I'll just have to verify the Wilson will take it, because now I'm suddenly second-guessing myself since it's been so long since I've worked on potatoes. Alright. So we'll go ahead, do that, and that should get me my full space harvested here. And if it's not enough, we'll cut a few more. There's not really a reason to make this super difficult. So the good news is those areas that kind of show dirt, road dirt or anything, like once this goes by, it's then turning into this green, which to me at least shows that we've got some harvested potatoes there. Alright, so I'm finally headed on our GPS line. I do have that little piece that juts out up there, so rather than moving this, I'm keeping it here. Last time I had potatoes, I think this was the section, or maybe it was a little bit down there. Somewhere I left some that I didn't really find until like plowing up in the spring, that it had withered and died, and it was only like 3 or 4 rows. It wasn't anything huge, but yeah, it looks like we're gonna have one little piece there, so we'll just turn around and get that cleaned up. So I'm not gonna snap to that line, I'm just gonna drive over it, but I have to drive far enough so that the potatoes are actually harvested and not just topped. So should get a little bit there. There we go. So not even 10 liters, but alright. So here we go. Oops. No, we're good. But this is the fun with a potato harvester. It is not a tiny piece of equipment. So, yeah, this is still going to be a good amount of work, as you can tell. I mean, we've been on here for 10-15 minutes on this field already, and it's hard to say what we've done. We don't even have one harvester full. I mean, it should go quicker now because, again, I'm not having to carefully steer, figure out exactly where I'm at. Alright, so this is where now we're going to have to see, do we have enough? I'm kind of mentally working with the space, and again, if I go into the field a bit there, it's okay with the topper. Just trying to figure out what works, because yeah, the wheels are right on the back, so I really can't do much from that regard. But yeah, it's a little bit more than I would like, but this should work out, and then just go back and forth this way. I think we'll be good there. Because yeah, it looks like we're leaving a lot, but it's just kind of how it appears, and I think it might have been because it took out more on the other side. So we'll have to see. Because the other challenge we've got is, you know, it continues to harvest. So, actually this is the side, so let me extend this. We need to play with it a little bit, if I recall. Alright, just positioning myself for the next time. Let me go get my truck. Alright, so we're over here by the pigs. So we do need to get rid of this pig food because this is the only thing that'll take potatoes. So should all go in. There we go. It does. So 1,400 liters, as I figured. Not a problem. And yeah, cutting from this side, or harvesting from this side works out well because I can do the same kind of trip that I did around the field with the harvester, with the truck. So this will take a little bit of effort to get everything done. So, you know, this is part of what we've got to deal with. I'm not going to whip around here because the last thing I need is the truck jackknifing and then sliding into the soybeans and taking things out. I could cut across the field, but I tend to try to be good about, you know, doing what makes sense. You know, obviously I've got the exception on field 8 where I use it kind of as a pass-through, but that's really it, simply because of the amount of effort that would take to go around constantly that, you know, there we really don't need to, just like we really don't need to not cut through the field here, but I don't need to cut through the field the way I did. So, on this, before on the other end. So, if I recall, we really don't get much more than a harvester and a, well, we might get two and some because of the weight limit on the trailer. I think we can get to about 56% or something, but again, we'll see. Whoa, 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 whoa. It must have been full. Yeah, looks like it was, so let's see. Like, it's going way too fast to be on. Yeah, I think I'm in pretty good shape. I think I've done that before and then, you know, kind of verified that all was still good. So, yeah, we're going to have a little bit of a challenge up at each end. So, at this point, you know, you know what I'm doing. I'm going to do it. And at this point, I'm going to see you when I'm done doing it. So I'm actually jumping back a bit early here. I wanted to take a peek at delivering the first load for a couple of reasons. First off, I think we're going to have some challenges getting there. Just don't know how severe. But also, again, 36,000, so it's just, yes, a harvester and a piece. Because it's basically 22,500 is the full harvester. And so we got about 14,000. So the root crop storage is down this way. And so this is what the challenge is going to be, is not hitting the sorghum field. So it's somewhat good I didn't do anything here, because I think that is the worst tree we have, but you know, these are not, there's not a lot of space here. driving in from the north, I think the turn, I would still hit things, and so there we go. And then, we do know from doing a lot of delivery and pickup here that I can pull around this silo. It's nice, we've got a nice clear day. There's not a lot of darkness around here. But yes, slowing down, there is a challenge there of getting things completed. There we go. So 36,000. So again, it's 1,700 per full set of pigs. Now, this is where it's going to get interesting, but it's doable, but there's not a lot of margin for error, as you can see. Same thing coming back here. Because, yeah, even on the other side of the tree, we've got another tree, so there's just a lot of carefulness that needs to happen, which is just going to make things take a bit longer. So I'll get back to the work, but at least now you've got some visibility. But well, yeah, what I was going to say is, 17,000 would be 10 loads. 34,000 then becomes 20. So we've got basically every truck I get delivered, we've got basically 20 times we can feed the pigs. And I think we can safely say we get 2 days, maybe 3 days. Conservatively we'll say 2. So I've got 40 actual days, which basically turns into 3 game years plus of potatoes. And that's just in one truckload. So now this looks really good. Quite happy with that. Also means I don't need to grow nearly this many potatoes next time, because my guess is I'm going to have a lot here. I'm probably going to have at least 10 truckloads, which means I'm going to have well over a year of real time in potatoes if I didn't sell any of these, but obviously I'm not going to do that. Well, maybe I will, because I don't know that I want to grow potatoes. This might be the one crop I just say, although I don't know. I'm sure I'll grow potatoes in a year again. So maybe when I get the hankering for potatoes, I'll just sell off what's left and say, hey, I'll then grow a new crop. So that's the rumination on the potatoes. Getting this out of the way, and I'm going to get back to harvesting. See you in a bit. Alright, so here we are. I am not sure if I'm going to get this in the last pass, or if it's really going to have me do 2. But we'll definitely, it's going to have me do something if I can't get in the right place, but anyway. Okay, why is this having such a hard time figuring out which line it's on? I've been actually doing quite well up until now, so let's see. All the tops are coming off, which I guess is a good sign. And it looks like it gets us right to the border, so I think I'm okay. But yeah, we probably, we'll have a little over 5,000 liters more. But if I've counted this right, I have about, this is my 8th truck, so I didn't get 10. But still, it's something crazy. I'm going to have to leave stuff here, because I have got to take a break right now. I've pushed this kind of like I tend to do all the time, right up until the last minute. So I'm going to clean this up later, but just wanted to give you guys the view of what it was, and basically 2.5 hours just to get this little piece done. So again, potatoes very, very labor intensive, but a lot of potatoes, and for what we're doing with them instead of selling them directly, I think it's going to work out pretty well. I'll check back in a bit when I can to let you know what it looks like at the end and tidy up and talk through a few things. Alright, so I am back on, just trying to get everything finished up for the day. So I just need to get these potatoes into storage, which will let me then see how much we have in total, and then put the truck away and put the harvester away. So sorry about that. I needed to get the FM that just joined muted so that we weren't hearing them in the background. I think they were watching some other video. So yeah, by default, if you remember when I first joined the FS22 server, the in-game chat is open for folks, and so maybe they don't know that, or maybe they do and they use it when they're on with others, but obviously at this point I don't typically use that in any way, and so obviously having background sounds weren't going to really be helpful. I think I probably have to connect my cables again, because I have been off the server. So there we go. Now that we're connected up, we can do that. So I'm going to get all the equipment put away, and then I will take a look at where we sit with our potatoes. Alright, so we've got everything cleaned up, repaired, put away, and we have 228,350 liters of potatoes. Alright, so with that amount of potatoes, what that means is basically that translates to 22 plus years of root crop for pigs at this point, and that's basically based on 2 days to go through the 1,700 liters that is the 5% of the full pigsty. So I think we're in good shape. We'll obviously be monitoring that as we go along. And the last piece we have is we do have 36 more baby pigs, so we're full up again. So we have a group of 24 now, because 2 of our groups of 12, if you recall, our German land race that we're able to have some pigs. Well, actually, it looks like 3 of them are. So we have a lot of those, and less of some of the others. But we've got 3 more groups, this one and these 2, that are coming up next, but they're still 6 months away. So we're basically going to be looking at the start of, or into the winter time, before we're going to be dealing with that. So that's the work I've got for the farm today. So I'm done, and I will see you next time.